Hello, and welcome to Conversations with Cully and Conlon. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. I'd like to thank our sponsors at Procyon Partners, one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. President Sean Rabinowitz is a proud supporter of our podcast network. They specialize in employee benefits, wealth management, and retirement planning. To get in touch with them, go to www.procyonpartners.net. Green Street Trust International, owned and operated by Renell Jump. They specialize in tax plans for businesses large and small. They will save you money or get you a big fat return on your taxes. To schedule your free strategic tax planning session today, go to www.greenstreettrust.com. We also have Pete Finch and the Finch Law Firm, located in Bridgeport, Connecticut. If you suffered any type of personal injury, a slip and fall, a car accident, your mother-in-law decided to run you over with her car, your wife got angry and stabbed you, the Finch firm is for you. Pete has won legal battles all over the state of Connecticut, and he will go to war to make sure you get every dollar you deserve in compensation. Remember, if you're ever in a pinch, call Finch. Dynamic Human Performance, owned and operated by UConn legendary running back Andre Dixon. He specializes in training boys and girls of all ages, of all sports. He has a 5,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility in Hartford, a boot camp program 7 days a week, 6 a.m. You want to get in shape, you go to Andre. An athletic development program where he takes boys and girls from the ground up, trains them, develops them, helps them become the best they can possibly be. Andre has sent boys and girls to college on scholarship for all different types of sports. To work with the best, go to www.dynamichumanperformance.com. Down south, we have Julius Williams and the Trench Mob. In Decatur, Georgia, they train offensive and defensive linemen. They go to 5v5 tournaments all across the country. They also go to college showcase camps, and proud to say that every camp they attended, a Trench Mob member received a scholarship offer, which is really impressive. Julius has sent kids to Florida, Florida State, Miami, Clemson, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, just to name a few. And to work with the best, go to www.battleofthetrenches.com. We have Luther James Insurance. Luther James Insurance. He is one of our newest sponsors. For the last 3 years, he has dedicated himself to the art of financial planning, financial services, and he specializes in insurance policies. He also will save you money because you can use your insurance like a bank. He'll make you a very wealthy man. He specializes in retirement planning. He knows the stress of retirement is real. How much am I going to need? For how long? Am I going to have enough? James will answer those questions for you and more, because fear of the unknown is real. Go to www.lutherjamesinsurance.com for more information. And now for the lady of the hour, UConn legendary women's basketball player, Western Connecticut State head coach, Maria Conlon. Such a pleasure to see you. Yes, thank you for doing this.
No problem. I am.
Everyone loves your car look. We get a lot of comments about you in the car. She's in the car.
Yeah,
She's in the car.
She's
so big. I said she has 45 jobs.
Yeah, I feel like I'm hard. Can you hear
I
me?
know. Yeah. I can hear you. I can hear you.
It's hard because it's like I'm all different parts of the state give you
Yeah, you're
very
all over the place.
weird cell service. So hopefully I should be good. I look like I'm coming up on some civilization here, so that'll be good. But
Some civilization.
yeah,
Uh,
it's crazy. There's so many parts of Connecticut you don't even realize exist.
No, we were talking about that. Like you'll be in a metropolis area, and then it's just nothing. You just wind up
Yeah,
nowhere.
it's
So
yep.
the number one, well, no, number two. The number two question on our viewers' mind, your thoughts on Asia Wilson winning the MVP award, because you initially said Nafisa Collier should have won it, or was the favorite to win it, and I agree. I think it was her year, especially what she did with Minnesota. Were you surprised by Asia Wilson taking the prize?
I was. I mean, I thought that
I was too.
Fish did everything that she was supposed to do to get that award. I thought she was consistent all year. Her team was the best team all year. I mean, listen, that's not taking anything away from Asia. I mean, I think
No.
anyone who watches the sport knows how phenomenal she is day in and day out. I just thought that, I constantly always look at results, right? And like,
Exactly.
while Las Vegas had a great back half of the year, they did not come out strong, and I thought Minnesota did such a phenomenal job, and obviously she's such a huge part of that. As
And the
consistently being
consistency
good.
you talk about.
Yeah, I was disappointed because I really thought Fish deserved it, but nothing to take away from Asia. I think she's a powerhouse. I think she's kind of become, the face of the WNBA in a lot of different ways. Um, but there's been years like, 2 years ago when Stewie got it, I thought Asia should have, you know.
Right.
So I'm not sure how the voting turned out, etc. But yeah, I was surprised to see that. I really was.
I mean, it's really more subjective than anything. And I was curious, how old is Asia Wilson? Is she younger? Has she been around quite a bit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know that she's 30 yet. Maybe she's 30.
Yeah.
I mean, she's
Okay.
been in the league maybe 7, 8 years now. So, she's definitely a veteran at this point, but, she's not in her mid 30s. So she's still in her prime. I think she really has a stronghold on, being that marquee player in the WNBA, which I think is a good thing. But like I said, I just felt like Collier did enough to get that nod this year.
Yeah, I thought it was her year too. And I agree with that. After, I didn't see a ton of her, but when I saw her play, I was thoroughly impressed. The next multitude of comments and questions involved the Indiana Fever. We were quite surprised. I mean, they were on the brink of not even making the playoffs. I mean, they had to hold off some teams, and they played strong down the stretch to do so. But they made a little bit of a playoff run, winning a series. Are you shocked by this? And I mean, obviously, LA. I mean, they're tied at 1, but they don't have a chance to beat Las Vegas. And are you shocked that they were able to win that series?
No, I think that Atlanta did not play great in the first round. I don't love the format of the 1-1-1. I know there's been a lot of conversations
Yeah,
with
I don't
that,
either.
having, you work all season to get, a higher seed. I'm torn, right? Because I think it is a disadvantage. I just think they should get away from a three game series in general, because you're giving the lower seed an opportunity to steal one at home, and then it turns that game three into an all out battle. It's really not that much of an advantage as the higher seed. But there's no way. But I also didn't agree with it last year, where if you're the higher seed, you get the first two home games, and then the lower seed has no
Right.
opportunity to play home. So, and Indiana was the team that really sparked that last year and sparked that debate, and they kind of changed it for Indiana. It was their benefit, but I wasn't like overly surprised. I
Yeah.
saw that there was any of the higher seeds that were. Yeah, I actually I'm happy with the way it turned out, and I think I'm happy because they did it without Caitlin Clark, which I think a lot of people didn't think that they'd be able to do.
Right.
But Kelsey Mitchell pretty much said, like, hold my beer, I got this. But because she's been playing out of her mind, and the support crew there's been, and I think Stephanie White's done an amazing job.
That's what I was going to ask. A lot of people said that the coaching has made
Yeah.
the difference. Stephanie White.
Yeah, I thought, this year alone, I'm happy that the Golden State coach got Coach of the Year, because I do think that
Right.
what she was able to do with an expansion team was remarkable. But I think like a runner-up to that definitely would have been Stephanie White. I mean, I think she did a phenomenal job with, losing obviously their star power and Caitlin Clark for the majority of the year. They had another injury.
Sophie Cunningham.
Yeah, late in the season, and they overcame that, and they kind of just like band together. But I've been saying it all year, like that team is a lot more than just Caitlin Clark, and I think they've shown that. So
Right.
I was pleasantly surprised to see that piece of it play out. But yeah, I mean, can they beat the Las Vegas Aces?
Yeah. I don't think in
I
5. No.
I think if it was a 3 game series,
Right. They'd
I
have
would say maybe, but I just don't know. I mean, obviously, Las Vegas bounced back. They had a big victory last night. The game really wasn't a contest.
No.
But yeah, I mean, and I love the 4 teams. Like I'm not shocked by Phoenix at all, especially after Stewie got hurt at the end of that first game. I know she played in the next 2 games, but she didn't seem like the same
She
person.
wasn't the same.
So
Right.
Let's talk about the Liberties coach getting the axe. I thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, that was the other thing people brought up. The defending champions and the coach get sent on their way.
Yep.
That was a little bit surprising. I know that it's a different world now, and teams don't have patience, and there's no such thing as rebuilding. But to get the axe was, I mean, I don't know the league as well as you do, but it seemed very surprising, and it seemed kind of unplanned. And I don't think it was warranted.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's scary, right? Like, and I've talked about like how I would never want to be a WNBA coach in today's atmosphere, because I just feel like there's no job security. Like, you can do a really phenomenal job for a couple of years, and you have one bad year, and they're like, forget it, we're moving on. I wouldn't be shocked if someone else snags her, and picks her up in the off season. But I think she's historically done a really good job as a coach. She has a couple of championships, so it's not like she's unproven.
Right.
But and then I saw an interesting piece of information where, like, it's the WNBA, and we keep firing female coaches to hire male coaches. It's kind of like a little bizarre. So it's, not that I'm saying because it's the WNBA you have to have all female coaches, but I think the WNBA's lean towards, male head coaches, and really not giving the time or the patience to some of the female head coaches is a dangerous slope to be on. So, we'll see how all that plays out and, who will get that gig. But, it's kind of like you're attracting, if you want to attract high level coaches, I think you got to you got to have a little bit more leniency with seasons turning out anything less than a championship.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously they won the championship last year. The year before that, they were in the finals. And they were plagued with a lot of injuries all year, and I thought they still held in there pretty strong. Despite, their three marquee players only playing a small amount of games on the court together. So, unfortunate to see for Sandy, and just the game in general, because I just think that we're setting a little bit of a dangerous precedent in terms of
A really dangerous precedent, yes.
Yeah.
I would totally agree with that. The next comment / question, well, there were multiple, about the Seattle Storm and their coach being fired. That seemed a little bit surprising. They didn't they weren't overly talented or loaded, correct?
I thought she did pretty good for what she had.
For what she had, yes.
Yeah, obviously losing Jewel Lloyd to free agency last year hurt them a little bit in terms of who is our go-to player. I think made things a little bit more difficult. They had a nice draft pick who I think had a decent rookie season, maybe not as statistically wowing as some of the others or as what they thought she would be. But yeah, I mean, again, I think this is just one of those leagues with the league expanding and players and free agency things. It's going to be hard for, talent and from the coaching perspective to come in and just be able to say oh, hey, we're going to be in the finals every year. If that's the benchmark, I think you got a lot of people that are going to be in the hot seat. And, I think unfortunately for Seattle, they clearly didn't see, some things that they wanted to see out of her the last couple of years. So I was less surprised with that than I was with the New York Liberty coach.
Yeah, the New York one didn't make any sense. I agree with that. Several people were asking about parity. Is there more parity, would you say, in the WNBA overall with the teams? Because it seems like, it's more like football. Anyone can win on any given Sunday, but the parity seems to change from year to year. And I know there's roster turnover, there's coaches turnover, but there definitely is quite a bit of parity.
Yeah, I mean, I think the league has done a really good job of growing the game. I think the game in itself has evolved in a way where more kids are playing, more kids are, fine-tuning their skills and are playing at an elite level, which is going to obviously always make the league stronger. But, at the end of the day, only one person can be in first and only one person can be in last. So
correct.
You could have all the parity that you want. That doesn't always necessarily, turn into not every team can have a winning record, obviously, right? So, you're always going to have teams at the bottom. And I think that if you get into this mode of all right, if you don't finish in the top 6 or top 4, I should say, because obviously even if you don't win a first round series, you can get the axe. I don't know. Those are some pretty steep requirements in terms of what you have to do as a franchise and as a coaching staff. Not that every coach wants to win and strive for excellence. And if it's purely a coaching problem, I think that those are things that stand out a little bit more than others. And we've just seen some coaches over the last couple of years, not get the benefit of the doubt in terms of a time perspective on how to build.
Right. No, I agree. I agree with that, especially the time needed for building, but it's just crazy. There was I don't know what team it was. Somebody asked about the WNBA becoming somewhat like the NFL, in where ticket prices were raised considerably. Where I guess they didn't say the team, but it was $600 or $700 for season tickets, and it is now going to be $1,200 allegedly for next year. I'm not sure about the team, but they're saying that
for season tickets.
For season tickets,
Yeah,
yes.
I guess my first response on that is like, number one,
Because they're a fan-friendly league and all that.
Yeah, fan friendly. Listen, every league tries to be fan friendly, right? I don't think any league goes out there and says like, we don't want to be fan friendly, but.
I'm sorry. I mean, family friendly.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, still, even that, like.
Yeah.
I think every league aspires to be family oriented and friendly. I think in some perspectives, the WNBA has done a better job of that than some other leagues. But, my first, like, glaring thing when I hear those numbers is, like, $600 to be able to go to.
It's $600 to go to get a nosebleed seat at MSG. That's what I said.
Right. Ticket prices were probably a little too low then to start.
Right.
Going from $600 to $1,200, obviously that's a double in ticket prices, but $1,200 to be able to see every home game of your team is not horrible, in my opinion.
And they're going to 44 total games, so you're getting 22 home games.
Yeah, so
which is good.
So 22 tickets, you divide that by 1,200. I'm not sure exactly what that number comes out to be, but I don't personally think that that's a horrible price. Obviously,
I don't either. It's still the lowest out of any professional sports league.
And I think as a fan, right, like you have to look at it twofold. If you really love the game enough that you want to be a season ticket holder, you should want the league to survive. And I think some of the pressures to be able to, pay the players more and, have revenue be in the positive every year comes at a price to the fan. And I think we're just seeing that. So I think, like, as a lover of the game, it's like, okay, like I get it. Like I want to invest in this franchise. I want to invest in this
Exactly.
league. Sometimes your investment is, being able to go to the games, right, or supporting them that way, and that comes with an increase in ticket costs.
Your good friend Frank said that he agrees with the ticket raising pricing because the owners have been taking losses, and they should be able to get more money out of it and raise prices. That was his misogynistic take, just so you know. He thinks it should be raised.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad take. It's not like they're saying, okay, we're going to go from $600 to $5,000.
Right. I agree. Right.
Yeah, even though it's double what people were used to paying, I don't think that it's.
They have to look at it in perspective.
Yeah. Yep. So, I don't take issue with that. I think it's a product of the game growing. It's a product of wanting to see the game stay alive. So I think it was just a necessary tactic to try to balance all these different things.
So Maria, this comes from Jessica in Norwich, who commented several times. Maria, what happened to Atlanta? Exclamation point, exclamation point. Maria, what happened to Atlanta? Exclamation point, exclamation point.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. I mean, again, I think there's a bunch of different things going on. Like I said, I don't think it's that much of an advantage now to get that higher seed.
Right. And in 3 games, anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think that they should just go with the first 2 rounds being a 5-game series and have the final be a 7-game series or whatever. I just think that you put and like who knows? It's all about when you get hot. I think Atlanta, just got a little cold towards the end there, and they paid for that. So, they just did not play great. I mean, I've watched one of the games. I did not watch all 3, but it just seemed to me like if you just flat out watch the game as someone who just loves competitive sports, like Atlanta did not match Indiana's energy or will to win. I think that's what stood out the most to me. I think Atlanta possibly came in thinking like, oh, we're good. We're the higher seed. They have no Caitlin Clark. They have no Sophie Cunningham. Like,
right.
And they got kind of bumped in the face early. And then it's like, I mean, you know how it goes. Like, you give someone, you give daylight there, and you give someone the confidence to think that they can do something. They do it. And then I think Las Vegas did the same thing in the first game. It was kind of like, this expectation of, oh, we're just going to steamroll them that didn't happen, that kind of caught them on the chin. So, Indiana's hot right now. I think they've really figured it out without Caitlin Clark. I would be surprised if Las Vegas lost the 5-game series to them right now. But on the other hand, like, it's like David versus Goliath. Like, you give them a little confidence to kick you in your shin, and they're gonna knock you over. Like, it's just the way things go. You gotta.
That's
we
a
all
good
know,
analogy.
like anyone who has played competitive sports or who's just done anything with a team and has ever been the underdog or the perceived underdog.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much to believe, right? Like, once you believe, it's dangerous for the team that just thinks that they're just going to win. So I think that's basically what happened to Atlanta. The New York, like I said, the New York Phoenix series, I had said from the beginning that one was probably going to be the best one. And
yeah, you said Phoenix all along.
Yeah, I said if I had to pick like a lower seed that was going to, or a game where
make a run, yeah,
underdog was going to win, it would be that one. Even though I think Phoenix was technically the 4 seed, but New York defending champs, blah blah blah. I think, yeah, Atlanta was a shock.
Yeah, they were. No, they definitely were. I was impressed with Atlanta as well. And I'm reading about Stud Buzz. Stud Buzz has been doing some incredible content for the WNBA, and involving Angel Reese. They work with yeah, okay, she's back. But yeah, that's who they've been working with.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you, okay, just quickly, because there was one other thing I had to get to. What are your predictions for how this is going to shake out? They play Friday, I believe, Vegas and Indiana, Minnesota, Phoenix. What do you see happening? Vegas is a 4.5 point favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still rolling with. I think it's going to be Minnesota and Las Vegas in the final.
Yeah, it has to be. I think.
I'm not saying that Indiana or Phoenix won't steal another game. They totally could, but I don't know. I think if it goes to a game 5, at Minnesota, I think Minnesota wins. I think if it goes to a game 5 at Las Vegas wins.
Correct.
And I think we see a battle
Yeah, for
in the
sure.
finals. So that's what I'm sticking with.
The just quickly, the other question was, didn't somebody asked if the NBA did a 5-game series the first round of the playoffs? They eventually moved to 7, but was it initially 5?
Yeah.
It
Yep.
was. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so that does make sense then. Why? I mean, do you have any idea why the WNBA did go with 3 instead of 5? Was it just not playing as many
So
games?
yeah, I mean they've always done 3 in the first
Okay,
round as
right.
far back as I can remember, and I think part of it is like,
Travel or
yeah, that, and like if you extend it out a little bit more and you start getting into like November,
right.
I think you're bumping into colleges starting, and I think just from like viewership or I mean that's my assumption. I don't know that to be fact, but if I had to think of like a reasonable reason behind that, and that's what
Yeah.
I would go with, is just making sure that it's still relevant. I mean, you also don't forget. I mean, you're dealing with football now, right? The NFL started. You got college football starting. It's just not. They've still had great ratings despite
They
that,
have. It's been the
but
highest rated season. You're right.
yeah, but I think that there definitely are more conflicts when you start rolling into competing with NFL Sunday or
Yeah.
college football Saturday. I think you do start crossing over a little bit into people's attention just being diverted elsewhere. Like in the summer, and in August and the very beginning of September, you
Yeah.
don't really have a ton of competition in terms of viewership.
There's not a
Um,
ton going on at all. Yeah.
yeah.
I had to ask you this because multiple people wanted your take because they know that you love your NFL. Um,
Mhm.
do you have any early thoughts on the season before I get into just a couple particulars of what you've seen the first few weeks, if you've been able to watch? And I know you
Yeah.
love it.
I mean, last weekend had some great games.
It did, yeah,
I love great games. I hate blowouts. Like I want it going down to the very end. Like that's just me personally, which I think we saw.
yeah.
So I've been really happy, thus far in what I've seen. I'm so glad that I'm not a Giants or a Jets fan.
Thank you for pointing that out. I appreciate that. Bringing up my Giants. Thank you. That was very
Yeah,
kind.
but yeah. Besides that, no, it's been fun so far. I mean, I love
Uh,
NFL Sundays.
the Tom Brady thing, people have asked about this. He People can't stand him as a broadcaster. They think he has a nasally voice,
Yep.
and they think that him being in the owner's box, he was on the headsets during one of the games. They think that the NFL is catering to him, giving him way too much leeway. He's Tom Brady. I mean, in my opinion, he can do whatever the hell he wants. But people think that he's getting special treatment and he needs to be reined in. He either can be an owner or a broadcaster. They don't think he should be able to do both. Do you have an opinion on that?
I really honestly don't. I'm kind of like a little bit with you. Like,
Yeah.
who the heck cares?
Yeah,
Um,
that's how I was. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, no, I don't really have an opinion on that. I have not.
I think he's a good commentator. I don't think he's bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he got better. Like last
He's
year.
improved. Yes, he's improved.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I think he's gotten better. Listen. I mean, the guy obviously knows the game. I
Correct.
think that he'll learn and get better on how to, communicate that in an entertaining way that people can understand as he's commentating. But
Right.
I don't think he's like the worst commentator I've ever heard. But
No, no.
I think he's a legend in the sport. He obviously knows what he's talking about. He has good intentions for the NFL and continuing for it to grow, etc. So I don't take issue with it at all.
And the question many people ask, college football, obviously the transfer portal has changed everything. You know, Bill Belichick's team at North Carolina brought in 70 new people. Even at UConn, we had 60. They are going to now one portal. It's only going to be in December, which I think will make a difference because, we're seeing kids that are transferring 3 and 4 times. I don't think so much in basketball, but it's definitely happened in football. And people had asked about basketball recruiting. Do college basketball teams recruit more high school kids than staying out of the portal? Or maybe they'll take one kid from the portal. They're not completely reliant on it, other than maybe like Rick Pitino. I'm just curious because that was asked several times, and I don't know the answer.
I don't think it's as big as it is with football. I mean, don't forget we have much smaller rosters, so I think when you're looking at percentage of number and turnover and all of that, it seems smaller, but maybe percentage-wise, based off of your roster spots, it might be the same.
Right.
I think we've definitely seen a trend where people will look in.
No, they do.
Yeah, but I don't think it's to the level of college football yet. But listen, if you got a 15-person roster and you bring in, 3 or 4, you bring in 4 transfers. I mean, that's 25% of your team, so it's still a pretty large number. I mean, it's not 50%, but
no,
you're teetering there. So
yeah, that's what Pitino did. The last question, I didn't see this. Apparently, Gino mentioned something about retirement happening in the next couple of years, possibly. Do you see that happening?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to retire at some point. I'm actually going to see him tonight, so I'll have to bring that up to him. I did not see that comment, but
tell him I said hi.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a spring chicken. I think.
No, he looks great for his age, though. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously still got it. I mean, he just won a national championship 6 months ago, so I don't think there's any question that he can't do the job. But things have changed. I think it's a lot harder now than it used to be, and I don't mean hard like he can't do hard. I just mean there's a lot more moving parts, and I think I mean if I'm him, I'm definitely thinking about like, hey, what does that end look like, and how
exit strategy.
When can I go there? So that doesn't surprise me at all.
Okay. Well, you have a lovely day, and is Layla doing well at her school?
Yeah, everybody's good.
Okay. Well, I will get in touch with you again because I probably am coming next weekend. So hopefully we'll be able to get you at the game. So for UConn women's legend, Western Connecticut State University head coach Maria Conlon, I'm Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back